11 News. Coverage you can count on.
If you're 18 and older, you can now just walk into a Giant Eagle and get a COVID-19 vaccine. A big change from where we were. We've gone from waiting to schedule a shot to this. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh.
And I'm Catherine Amenta. The goal is to speed up the race to vaccinate. You don't need an appointment. Channel 11's Mike Holden takes us through some things you will need.
Giant Eagle says it's all about accessibility and convenience. They're trying to serve as many people as possible by now offering walk-in COVID-19 vaccines, and they believe it could make a huge difference moving forward. Giant Eagle pharmacies are welcoming walk-in COVID-19 vaccines. We saw it firsthand here at the McIntyre Square location. It's their latest effort in the ongoing fight. Patients 18 and up can simply bring their ID, insurance information, and walk right up without an appointment. This all comes after professional Pittsburgh sports teams partnered with AHN, UPMC, and Giant Eagle to encourage people to get the shot. The acting Secretary of Health says in order to get back to normal, more people need to be vaccinated. And to fully get rid of that mask mandate, at least 70% of adults across the Commonwealth will need to get the shot. Folks told us they're just trying to do their part.
I just want to be on the safe side and get it and just see what happens.
The only place I could get it, the only place around that I could find a place to get it.
And it is so important to mention to double check your pharmacy hours because they vary from Giant Eagle to Giant Eagle. In the meantime, we're now asking Giant Eagle officials what the next step in the process is and how long they plan to offer this program for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in McCandless, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
And you see Mike has his jacket on there. We got rid of the rain, but not the chill. Temperatures still well below normal. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier takes a first look at her forecast in Severe Weather Center 11. Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Catherine. We had a deluge of rain yesterday. Pittsburgh picking up more than an inch of rain, some spots an inch and a half. Out there right now, we have the fair weather clouds, and that's what we're going to be dealing with for the remainder of the day today. Just a beautiful day to get outside on our visible satellites showing those white speckles, those fair weather clouds coming across. However, it will be on the chilly side. 52 in the city right now. It's 50 in Greensburg, 51 in Washington. We're on our way up to 57 degrees this afternoon. Northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour, so the breeze may make it feel even cooler. Coming up, I'm going to let you know when I think we could see some frost across the area. Plus, I've got some new data in on when some more rain could move in. Coming up.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A man is in critical condition, and police are looking for the shooter after shots were fired in Pittsburgh's Knoxville neighborhood. We first followed this as breaking news during our morning news, and we watched as officers blocked off Matthews Avenue at Grimes Avenue with police tape. They had it stretched up to the porch of a house there. The man was shot in the leg and lower back. We're working to learn more details about the victim and the search for a suspect.
We have new information on a deadly shooting in the Hill District. A 15-year-old has been arrested, accused of shooting another teen. Duron Darby has been charged in the April 24th shooting on Bedford Avenue. Police say he killed 17-year-old Isaiah Freeman. Investigators say they questioned witnesses who told them Darby pulled out a gun, took out the bullets, and started pointing it at random people. When Freeman swatted it away, that's when police say Darby reloaded the gun and shot Freeman. Darby faces a long list of charges, including homicide.
The CDC has updated its guidance on how COVID-19 spreads, emphasizing it is airborne. The agency says the virus spreads when an infected person breathes out droplets and very small particles that contain the virus. Previously, the CDC said it was more common for the virus to spread through close contact than through airborne transmission. The agency also says becoming infected when you are further than 6 feet away has been repeatedly documented. The FDA is expected to grant emergency use authorization this week of Pfizer's vaccine for kids between 12 and 15 years old. Britt Conway has a look at what parents need to know.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
This week, kids between the ages of 12 and 15 years old could be rolling up their sleeves for a COVID-19 vaccine, as the FDA considers Pfizer's vaccine for that age group. Have questions? These doctors have some answers. Let's start with the size of the trial, about 2,200 kids. Is that enough?
Knowing how effective the vaccine has been in those 16 and older, that gives us reassurance. So we only need to study it and compare
What's being considered?
the safety profile as well as the immune response and, most importantly, the efficacy.
So is it safe?
The efficacy of the vaccine in 12 to 15 years old was essentially 100%, and it was really quite safe.
And doctors say there's no evidence this vaccine will affect development or fertility. When will it be available?
Oh, essentially almost immediately after.
That's because it's the same vaccine, and the possible side effects are the same too. What about kids younger than 12?
You want to do what's called an age de-escalation. We now have it from 12 to 15. Then you work your way downward from 12 to 9 years old, 9 to 6 years old, 6 to 2 years old.
With the hope of being able to vaccinate children of all ages by early next year.
And you're all done.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Did it hurt?
If and when the FDA gives Pfizer the thumbs up here, then the CDC would have to vote on recommending it, and the director would have to sign off. The CDC has an emergency meeting scheduled for Wednesday.
Breaking news right now. We're going to have that in a second, actually. A pop-up park that is set to open up downtown today will now open tomorrow. A stretch of Fort Duquesne Boulevard will shut down for 5 months. It's going to be called the Allegheny Overlook Pop-Up Park. There will be food, live music, and art. It's all in an effort by the city and Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership to host events and activities to bring people into the city. There's a rendering of what it'll look like. Plus, eat and shop at all the local businesses that have suffered so much during the pandemic.
It's really nice that they're trying to get the community together and be around each other more, even though it's outside and a safe distance.
And during the Three Rivers Arts Festival, this is where the big stage will be set up, and then yoga in the square will also be back, and live entertainment will return in late June when the Saturday night market starts back up again.
The next phase of the Allegheny Circle project starts today on the north side. Crews are working to turn it into a two-way street with bike lanes. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond takes us through what needs to happen to get the work done.
Big changes keep being made to the Allegheny Circle. First, they added these bike lanes. Next, they're tearing up the islands to make way for a new traffic flow.
This $3 million project has been in the works since 2016. Currently, traffic goes in one direction all the way around the circle. By the end of this year, it'll be a two-way street. In order to make this change, they'll be tearing up the islands on Ohio Street. That started today. So did traffic restrictions along Allegheny Commons, at South Commons, Sandusky Street, East Commons, and North Commons. Crews will also be on Ridge Avenue working on the traffic lights. And more work will be done to make new bike lanes even safer.
It's safety for all modes, for vehicles, pedestrians, and bicyclists. Obviously we're seeing more and more biking, and we want to provide those connections so people can get around in a safe manner.
At the intersections, they'll also be enhancing the ADA ramps. Crews will be out here working Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
This project is expected to be completed by the end of this year. And can you believe this? I actually met someone who's going to be sad when the construction project is complete and all this noise stops. I'm sharing his story today at 5. Reporting on the north side, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Now that is a tease. We'll be watching, Alyssa. Thank you. A week after a car slammed into a family's home in Hempfield Township, they say they are really struggling to find a place to live. But they just got a big helping hand. You may remember Amanda Clark's story. Remember this video? She was with her toddler inside their home when a car crashed into the house. Police say 3 18-year-olds and a 17-year-old were in the car, and the driver did not have a license. The house is now unstable, so while Clark looks for a new place, a total stranger is offering to put them up in a hotel. Clark described for us the moments leading up to the crash.
He was standing right in the doorway, and I was vacuuming about 2 feet away from him. And I saw the car coming at the last split second. Fire department came and revoked occupancy, which meant I was not allowed to be in the house.
She says right now, both of her kids desperately need some kind of sense of stability. Amanda tells us a friend also set up a GoFundMe page. If you would like to help, we have posted the link to our website, WPXI.com.
A crippling cyber attack has shut down a major U.S. pipeline that delivers fuel to nearly half of the East Coast. Officials say they may have a lead on the criminals behind the hack. The question today, if or when this will cause prices to jump at the pump. NBC's Tom Costello has the latest.
Yeah, good day. We are watching pump prices very, very closely. So far, no dramatic increase, but that could change any hour, any day. The longer that this pipeline that's run by Colonial Pipeline, the longer it's shut down, the greater the chances the gas prices will start to move up. This is the pipeline responsible for 2.5 million barrels of jet fuel, of diesel fuel, and regular gasoline every single day, moving from Texas all the way up into New York and every state in between. 45% of East Coast fuel moves through this pipeline, shut down since Friday because of a ransomware attack. Cybersecurity experts and NBC News sources believe that this is the work of a sophisticated Russian criminal enterprise called DarkSide, and that they are demanding a ransom be paid before they unfreeze the pipeline. So we don't know how long it's going to take to get the pipeline reopened. Colonial Pipeline says it's working around the clock, and the government says it is all hands on deck. Multiple agencies working to not only help Colonial get the fuel moving again up the East Coast, but also tracking down more of who is responsible and trying to take their operations offline. It is, in the words of cybersecurity experts, a new front, a very terrifying new front, and how cyber criminals can literally take infrastructure and critical infrastructure offline in the United States. I'm Tom Costello in McLean, Virginia. Back to you.
A safety probe of more than 1 million Honda Accords has been opened. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is looking into reports of sudden loss of steering control. The investigation covers 2013 through 2015 models. The agency said, quote, under normal driving conditions, with no warning or input from the driver, the car may veer out of its intended path of travel. My goodness. Honda did not immediately comment. The agency said they've seen 107 complaints and 2 injuries related to the issue. Still to come is a life-saving treatment for COVID patients.
The shards of glass feeling that was gone by the next day. Yeah.
Why some children and their parents are turning it down, though.
I travel it every day, multiple times a day. Yeah, so I see a lot.
Neighbors call it a dangerous roadway. The safety changes they want to see after 2 deadly crashes.
And a major recall, the company that says some of their smoke detectors don't detect smoke.
And we're dry today, but I'm tracking a slight chance for rain tomorrow. I'll show you where, and we'll also talk when temperatures will finally go up to where they should for this time of year.
In the last 3.5 weeks, there have been 2 deadly accidents on this stretch of road in Duquesne. This is Route 837. The latest happened early Sunday morning. It was just before 2 a.m. when police and firefighters responded to this crash between Grant and North 2nd Street. One person was killed. We talked to a neighbor who told us something needs to be done to make this stretch of 837 safer.
There's way too many accidents on this road. I travel it every day, multiple times a day. Yeah, so I see a lot. I just think they should have speed bumps on the road because people fly up and down it all the time, of all hours of the day.
There was another fatal accident on this same stretch last month. Only 1 car was involved, and that driver died at the scene.
A lot of focus has been on COVID vaccines recently, but UPMC says COVID treatments are just as important. That includes monoclonal antibodies. We spoke about them before on Channel 11. That's an infusion that can help high-risk patients hopefully recover faster. But UPMC says pediatric patients and their families are turning it down. I sat down with doctors to look into why.
If they told me there was something that they could do to make me feel better, I was going to take it.
Samantha Stevenson felt terrible earlier this spring. The Jamestown High School junior, who's normally an active 16-year-old, was sidelined by COVID.
My temp got up to 102, and it felt like kind of shards of glass were in my lungs and down my throat.
Samantha has mild asthma, and her mom, Brenda, didn't want to take any chances, so they went to urgent care. And that's where doctors recommended she go to UPMC for a monoclonal antibody infusion. I spoke with Dr. Brian Campfield, assistant professor of pediatrics at UPMC Children's Hospital, to explain how the technology works.
And they made antibodies that specifically bind to the coronavirus. It circulates throughout your blood, and whatever virus is present there, it binds to it and neutralizes it.
The shards of glass feeling, that was gone by the next day?
Yeah.
But according to UPMC, not all families are as eager as Samantha to get the treatment. They say pediatric patients and their parents are declining the antibodies more than half the time.
It's been around for more than a decade and is well known to save the lives of newborns and young children.
Had the physician assistant at urgent care not mentioned it, I would have had no idea to even bring that up.
And Dr. Campfield says that's also key. Patients and doctors need to talk early on, soon after the COVID diagnosis. He says the earlier the treatment, the better it works.
If it's been 10 days, 2 weeks since you were first infected, probably most of the infection has already occurred.
If your child is going through like pain and not feeling well, then I would just definitely get it.
And again, this technology is not new, and monoclonal antibodies have been used to treat children and adults for years for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and the virus that commonly causes pneumonia in children.
A new medical marijuana dispensary is coming to Pittsburgh's East End. Good Blend, Pennsylvania plans to open a new facility on Baum Boulevard this summer. Earlier this year, Good Blend announced plans to create a massive facility on the north side. They're transforming this 120,000 square foot building on Beaver Avenue into a grow space and a research center. Once complete, it could create several hundred new jobs.
One of the biggest makers of smoke detectors is recalling hundreds of thousands of them because they don't work. Affected models are the Kitty TrueSense smoke alarms and combination smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. They were sold at Walmart, Home Depot, and Amazon between May of 2019 and last September. No incidents were reported, but people with these alarms should contact the company for a replacement.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, good afternoon. We have finally kicked out the wet weather that we were dealing with pretty much all day long yesterday. And looking back off to the west, I don't see anything coming in for today. Boy, can this map be deceiving, though. I wanted to show it to you because it really paints the picture. 24-hour temperature change. We're running 11 degrees warmer in Pittsburgh than this time yesterday. We're running 16 degrees warmer. But that's not saying much because yesterday's temperatures were only in the 40s. It certainly did not feel like May. It doesn't feel like May today. In fact, it feels a little more like early April. Take a look at the current temperatures. 52 right now in Pittsburgh and in Butler. It's cooler in Indiana at 50. We're going to need our jackets all day long. If you're heading out for a bike ride, dress a little warmer because we will have those temps that are going to be just in the mid-50s through 1 o'clock and then about 57. That's where we're going to top out today. Just a few fair weather clouds this afternoon, looking good for us. Tonight, I do expect more clouds to build in, so it'll be mostly cloudy and the winds will be lighter out of the west. We are looking at a bit of a breeze today, as I mentioned earlier, at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight lows are going to be falling down into the upper 30s, so it will be cold enough for your coat once again out there tomorrow morning. And typically when we talk about frost, we talk about temperatures that are down in the mid 30s, upper 30s, as well as clear skies and calm winds. That's actually the ingredients for frost formation. With the cloud cover, that may prevent widespread frost, but there could be some patchy frost into tomorrow morning. So it's a good idea just to wrap up your plants just in case, or your flowers. Now, we've been talking a lot about a rocket launch. You might be tired of hearing me talk about it, to be honest. NASA's been trying to launch this rocket from Wallops Island, Virginia over the last couple of nights, but it has been scrubbed each and every night due to unfavorable upper-level wind conditions. So I did want to let you know once again that it is slated to launch at 8:04 tonight from Wallops Island, Virginia. So you're going to want to look toward the east or east-southeast later on this evening. I'm hoping those high-level clouds don't build in until after the launch. Hoping the launch goes off for that matter. But the visibility time for our area right after launch, 30 to 60 seconds. So it's going to happen pretty quick. Low temperatures tonight, 36 in Butler and in Indiana. Greensburg, 38. Uniontown, you'll bottom out at 40 degrees into tomorrow morning. Here's a look at our storm tracker maps. I think we're going to have some clouds around in the morning, and when we get into the afternoon, the data has been showing that there could be a few stray showers developing. This model may be overdoing it a little bit, but we have to add that in the forecast because some of the data, like I said, has been showing that. You might want to just keep your umbrella nearby. Otherwise, we will see a mix of sun and clouds on Tuesday. Tuesday's only 56 for us. We get into Wednesday morning and we're at 35, 37 by Thursday morning. So over the next few mornings, we are watching for potential frost. Thursday, Friday, 65. Friday, some isolated showers around. Finally, we climb back to where we should be for this time of year by Sunday with that high temperature of 70 degrees. And coming up in the next half hour, I'm going to let you know where we stand on our rainfall because, yes, we picked up quite a bit yesterday for the month of May. We'll talk about that next.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Some towing companies are looking for drivers to make a wrong move. We find out what you can do if you get a big bill.
And is it too late to hit the beach? Why options are becoming limited if you haven't booked your trip yet. Welcome back on this Monday afternoon. Another record at our nation's airports. On Friday, 1.7 million people passed through airport checkpoints, making it the busiest air travel day since the start of the pandemic. And it could also mean a hard time booking your summer vacation. Flights are filling up fast, along with hotel bookings and car rentals. Beach vacations, by far the hottest ticket. 90% of rental homes are already booked in beach towns along the East Coast, and expect to pay a hefty price if you're trying to fly to Hawaii. And the high prices don't end there. Some rental cars are averaging over $700 a day. Yikes. U.S. Travel Association says 72% of Americans are planning a summer trip. With coastlines booked, some people are now turning inland to rural vacation spots.
There's no Wi-Fi, there's barely electricity. It's a very introspective place that I think people feel very comfortable.
And experts have one tip. It's an easy one. Book your trip sooner rather than later. And there are still deals out there, but they won't be there for long.
Restaurants were packed as families gathered to celebrate Mother's Day. Several people told us they finally feel a sense of normalcy by doing activities as simple as going out and sharing a meal. Reservations and wait lists filled up fast, and some places were booked solid.
There's one party that they haven't seen their family for a year and a half. So it is great to see everybody smiling, everybody out again, everybody feeling safe.
Takeout was also still a huge seller for restaurants all day long.
Yeah, not everyone is feeling safe going out. We're 3 weeks away from the state lifting every COVID restriction except the mask mandate. So the big question, are you ready?
We actually got used to being in quarantine.
It's something we've all been waiting for, right? Get back out in public. How to handle any reopening anxiety.
Plus, coming up, I'm going to update you on how much rain parts of the area saw yesterday and where we stand on our month-to-date rainfall.
We bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community.
It's no easy task, especially after police shootings across the country. How state police are reaching out. Well, we finally have a forecast with no rain, but the cooler temperatures are staying. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier has a check on the forecast now at Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, we are going to be looking at that cooler afternoon and the breezy conditions. I wanted to update you guys on the rainfall that we had out there yesterday and a look at where we stand on our month-to-date rainfall for the month of May. And we start first with our rainfall reports. Katanning picking up 1.61 inches, and you can see Butler picked up more than an inch of rain. Harmony 1.5. I mean, it was raining pretty much all day long in many locations yesterday, wasn't it? Record daily there at 1.17 inches for the city of Pittsburgh. Here's where we stand for our month-to-date rainfall, 2.32 inches, the average a little more than an inch. So we are above average now by 1.29 inches. We do have a couple of dry days ahead. So coming up here in just a few minutes, I'm going to walk you through when the best times to get outside and maybe mow your lawn will be. So stick around for that. I'll see you back in just a few minutes.
Looking forward to it, Danielle. Thank you. How many state troopers investigated hate crimes and worked on community engagement before last year? Just one, but they say that's now changing.
And what our main goal is to build bridges.
Channel 11's Michelle Newell spoke with one of the 4 state troopers who will now do this work and found out how local tragedies played a big role in expanding their mission.
The constant outcries for justice are nationwide each time a life is lost at the hands of police.
When I see these incidents happen, they affect me. You know, I think they affect every law enforcement officer because we have a lot of jobs to do, but one of our jobs is to make sure that we protect and serve our community.
Corporal Aaron Allen is the Western Heritage Affairs Liaison Officer for Pennsylvania State Police, a position he initially took on part-time. But after George Floyd was killed at the hands of police, he and 3 other troopers were appointed full-time roles.
The Heritage Affairs Office was always appointed to just one person.
With more members on board, their goal is to bridge gaps in communities, in addition to hate crimes they investigate.
We talk about the incidents that happened, the George Floyd incidents, the Antoine Rose incidents, and it's important to talk to our students in local high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, and also community members about those incidents.
Corporal Allen says his office was intentional about getting involved in the East Pittsburgh community when Antoine Rose Jr. was shot and killed by a former East Pittsburgh police officer. Corporal Allen also says state police are implementing new programs along the way, like the Office of Community Engagement, which is fairly new.
They are just troopers that work full-time, 24/7, 365, on community service initiatives. It is really, really important to build these relationships. We should have been doing this quite some time ago, but better now than ever.
The president of the Pennsylvania State NAACP says he wants to see more programs implemented.
More needs to be done, Michelle, and I'm not, we're not saying from the state conference standpoint that we don't believe that there are no state troopers doing anything in communities. I don't want to put that's a pretty broad statement to make. From bridging gaps, we have not seen any efforts that we're aware of what that looks like. And if they are attempting to do that, we particularly from the state level of the NAACP, we would like to know how and what that looks like.
Michelle Newell, Channel 11 News.
Breaking news right now, the Allegheny County Health Department just out with an update on new COVID cases. And we continue to see lower numbers. Take a look at your screen. Health officials say they have learned of just 191 new cases since Saturday. The health department has also learned of 5 additional deaths dating back to April 30th.
The YMCA in the north side will be shut down for at least 2 weeks after several men in the housing program tested positive for COVID. They found out about the cases Saturday and are working with the Allegheny County Health Department to quarantine the men. It's unclear how many people tested positive.
The race to vaccinate is hitting a hurdle. States are now giving back hundreds of thousands of unused COVID vaccines. And several states are requesting the government send only a fraction of their previous orders. It all comes as vaccine hesitancy grows. Comes as COVID vaccinations dropped last week by 2 million a day. And that trend is causing White House officials to question whether the U.S. can reach herd immunity.
We're at 58% today. So we've got a path ahead of us, which will involve getting people even easier access to the vaccine. making sure that people build their confidence.
Health officials say the next step is getting children vaccinated. This week, the FDA is expected to approve the Pfizer vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds.
In about 2.5 hours, the Capitol Police Inspector General is set to testify in Congress about how to stop future attacks on the U.S. Capitol. Our Jacqueline Fell got a look at what the Inspector General will tell the House committee.
U.S. Capitol Police Inspector General Michael Bolton is expected to testify on the oversight of the Capitol attack. I've read Bolton's opening statement. He says the police agency needs cultural change, meaning stop thinking of the agency as a traditional police force and move toward a posture of a protective agency that focuses on stopping threats ahead of time. Bolton says his team found what he called deficiencies with outdated or vague guidance, as well as insufficient resources and staffing for keeping up with counter-surveillance operations and threat assessments. As a result, Bolton says the Capitol Police didn't adequately collect or analyze intel that could have better identified red flags ahead of the January 6th insurrection. The Capitol Police have responded to the IG's report, saying a standalone counter-surveillance unit would be valuable but costly. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
Threats against members of Congress are up 107% compared to 2020. That's according to U.S. Capitol Police. The department also says it expects the number of cases will continue to rise.
Nearly 60% of people in Japan think the Olympics should be canceled. A local newspaper polled 1,600 people over the weekend, and it showed 59% of people wanted the games canceled, and 39% said that they should be held. The 2020 games were postponed and are set to begin in Tokyo on July 23rd. Tokyo is currently under an extended state of emergency due to a spike in cases of COVID. Having your car towed can leave you with big bills and little leeway. The gap some towing companies seize upon and how they can be fixed.
You park your car, go away, and then come back, and your car is towed. Now a watchdog group is finding out there are gaps in the towing business, and those gaps could leave you with little protection from towers looking to cash in. Our Washington correspondent Samantha Manning found out people often get stuck with big bills because of this.
It would be a nightmare for any driver, finding out your car has been towed.
They're in a position of power because they have your car.
Ben Soniga knows about this all too well. He says a towing company wrongfully claimed he was illegally parked in a permit lot for more than 30 days.
I said my car wasn't parked there, and I said yes, it was. And they said, do you have any pictures of where you parked your car? And of course I didn't take a picture of my car when I hopped out of it. I knew I was in a legal parking spot.
Ben got stuck with a $400 bill. It's a common problem, according to this latest watchdog report from the U.S. Public Interest Research Group. It says only about half of states set any kind of maximum fees for towing or storage for cars. And more than 30 states don't even require the rates to be disclosed.
A good rule of thumb is to contact the non-emergency number of local law enforcement, because often towing companies are required to notify law enforcement when a vehicle has been towed. I would also suggest requesting an itemized bill.
The nonprofit says when laws clearly outline consumer protections, the towing companies are less likely to take advantage. Ben is hoping to see more protection for drivers.
It's an example of price gouging in my mind.
That was our Samantha Manning reporting. More details now. That report says if your car is damaged during the towing or storage process, only 23 states require the company to reimburse the driver for the damages.
Sunshine out there today. Coming up, I'm going to let you know which days this week will be the best days to wash your car.
I'm kind of tiptoeing my way into the pool.
If you're afraid of returning to public spaces, you have plenty of company. How to bring reopening anxiety under control.
Americans are eager to invite family and friends back into their homes. Close to half the people that responded to a survey by ButcherBox says that they're very excited to throw a dinner party when it's safe. And the survey found that there will be more parties with slimmed down guest lists. We spent more than a year asking, when are things opening back up? And now that that time is almost here, some admit that they're a little nervous. Doctors say if you're feeling social anxiety, you're not alone. Hetty Chang reports.
Ellie's art district busy once again, and we noticed at least with this group, hugs are back too.
Now, obviously, it's one of my best friend's birthdays, so gotta give him a hug when I see him.
Derek Irby and his pod are ready to embrace post-pandemic life.
It's just nice to be outside and have a drink with some friends.
Not a problem hanging out with each other, but they admit socializing again with others could be awkward at first.
Is speaking to someone okay? Is tapping someone okay? So a lot of these social cues that we had before are now being reset, and we're having to reestablish them. So I think that's a lot of the anxiety.
Don't be surprised if you actually aren't sure how to interact in person anymore.
Kaiser Permanente psychiatrist Dr. Luis Sandoval says it's okay to feel anxious. Why?
We actually got used to being in quarantine.
While some can't wait to get out.
Listen, I jumped right into it. Once I got vaccinated, it was no holds bar. I was sick for about 24 hours, but after that, it was get on a flight, go see my friends out on the West Coast, and do my thing.
But mental health experts say if that's not your thing, that's okay too.
I'm kind of tiptoeing my way into the pool.
I always encourage my patients to place things in two baskets. One basket is what can you control and what can you not control?
Continuing to follow safety guidelines you can control. The rest, doctors say, will come with time.
It's part of the transition of life, and we just need to adapt in a way that accommodates the guidelines that we're being given.
Pickleball players and fans will be flocking to Cranberry next month. The Cranberry Township Pickleball Association will host the first North Mid-Atlantic Pickleball Tournament at Graham Park Courts from June 4th through the 6th. More than 500 players will get a chance to earn an automatic bid to the national tournament in California later this year.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Looking good over the city right now. Don't let the sunshine, though, today fool you. It does not feel like it should. We should be up around 70. If you're just joining us, we're still in the low to middle 50s. 52 in the city. It's 55 in Beaver. The wind's 5 to 15 miles per hour with a 7-mile-per-hour sustained wind currently in Pittsburgh. Those winds will be around 10 to 15 miles per hour today. If you're getting outside, upper 50s, that's all we'll get to this afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds and that northwest cooler wind for us, so make sure you have a jacket on. Over the next few days, I can let you know that we will have some sunshine from time to time. Mix of sun and clouds today and tomorrow. Wednesday, we may get close to maxing out the sunshine, 14 hours, 17 minutes there. I think we're going to have a good deal of it Wednesday and then a few more clouds around by Thursday. Speaking of clouds, we do build in some more tonight. 37 degrees overnight tonight with a light westerly wind. I was talking earlier about some patchy frost potential over the next few mornings. And typically when you have a clear sky and light winds, that will be the perfect ingredients for frost. We do have more cloud cover, though, it looks like coming in tonight. So I think that will limit the widespread frost, but nonetheless, with these temps dropping into the mid to upper 30s across our area over the next few mornings, it may be a good idea to protect your flowers and sensitive vegetation. 36 in Washington tonight, 38 in Greensburg, 36 Butler, and in Indiana. So it's cold enough for all of us to have our coats on tomorrow morning. Jackets in order tomorrow afternoon with only 57 degrees, and it'll feel even cooler because the wind will pick up a little bit more so tomorrow. It'll be out of the west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour sustained, and we will have a chance for a stray shower. We've included that in the picture. Some of the late data showing that there could be just a passing shower, especially south and east of the city, although the atmosphere is still pretty dry out there. Dew points are low, so I'm not expecting widespread heavy rainfall like we had over the weekend. 53 in Butler tomorrow in Indiana, 53 in Greensburg, 54 in Uniontown, warmer Morgantown at 57. As far as washing your car over the next few days, today's a good day to do it. Saw some people when I went and filled up my gas tank today. They were out there doing that. So Tuesday, again, just some spotty rain, and then Wednesday and Thursday look like pretty good days to wash your car. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. Wednesday looks like the coldest morning of the week at 35, 60 Wednesday with plenty of sunshine. And then we're at 65 in the afternoon, Thursday and Friday. Friday, another shot at some isolated showers. The weekend for now looks good. The warmer of the two to get outdoors will be Sunday. And this is about where we should be for this time of year, up to that high of 70.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Mattel is launching a new program, Mattel Playback, a toy take-back program, which will initially accept Barbie, Matchbox, and Mega Toys for recycling. It's part of the toy maker's goal to achieve 100% recycled, recyclable, or bio-based plastic materials across all products and packaging by 2030.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals, and this is one of the most popular ideas we have ever brought you. These are the Lotus trolley bags. Now, these are really cool grocery bags that allow you to be organized, efficient, carry things better, know where things are, not throw things away, throw things in the washing machine so you know where they came from. You get the idea. 4 amazing grocery bags, and here's how they work. Number 1, you're going to get this one, which is insulated. How great is that? You're also going to get one with sleeves and organization for eggs and a bottle of wine, because you know you're going to need that, as well as other things. You get 2 of the general purpose bags, but I just walk in the grocery store, right? Open it up, put it right in the cart. Now I have all 4 bags in the cart. Everything's organized as I'm picking it up and going, oh, the frozen food goes in the insulated. Oh, the eggs go here. And oh, the produce goes there. So now everything's organized. It's easy for me to see what I've gotten. It's easy for me to get in and out of the grocery store more quickly. And each of these bags carries up to 70 pounds. So when I'm going to my car, I put it over my shoulder. I'm supporting it with my whole body, not trying to be all the way out here. And I know what I have. I get it home easily, and I know where it came from. This isn't something where I'm walking in a store and I'm touching something everybody else. No, these are my bags from my house that came out of my washing machine. And how fabulous is that? By the way, right now my social life is pretty much limited to the grocery store, so I like to really look like a rock star when I go in. You should see the look on people's faces when I walk by with all 4 of these in my cart. They're like, whoa, what's up with her? It's awesome. These are one of the best ideas ever. You know you got a grocery shop. You know you want to be organized. You know you don't want to have a million extra things laying around. And you know you want to bring your bags to do it even better. Right now, if you go to localsteals.com, you can get these for 40% off. And by the way, they do great produce bags. You can find those on there as well. Great idea. Everybody needs it. I know you're going to love it.
Welcome back. You may want to keep an eye on tomorrow's Mega Millions drawing. The jackpot, a cool $396 million. It's the 13th largest jackpot in the game's history, and you can watch that drawing right here on Channel 11 at 11:11 p.m. Good luck. A Jeanette man turned a vacant lot into a memorial garden. Albert Herman told our partners at the Trib that it's in memory of his mother-in-law and can be used by others who have lost a loved one too. Great idea here. The garden is located on the corner of North 3rd and Grandview Streets. Herman said that he cleaned the area and got to work in October on it. His mother-in-law loved flowers, so he thought it was only appropriate.
Tonight, neighbors in Churchill will get a chance to voice their concerns over a proposed Amazon warehouse. The distribution center would go in the old Westinghouse Technology and Research Park, and Amazon says it would create more than 1,000 new jobs. But some neighbors are worried about noise and traffic trouble. Tonight's council meeting is set for 7 o'clock, streaming on Zoom. If you want to ask a question, you're encouraged to submit written comments. The Children's Museum of Pittsburgh is getting ready to reopen. The museum is set to reopen on June 12th. There will be new exhibits featuring Pixar and Mr. Rogers. The cafeteria will stay closed, but guests are allowed to bring their own food and eat there. The museum is also transitioning to an online timed ticketing system. It's been a long time since Pirates fans have watched the Great Pierogi Race at PNC Park, but guess what? The tradition returns tonight. Woo-hoo. The Pirates decided to bring them back to the ballpark when the governor announced COVID restrictions would be lifted by Memorial Day. You can cheer them on when the Pirates host the Reds. Game time 6:35.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.